Hi, my name is HarRis, and today I'll be teaching you how to create a sports highlight video using Adobe Premiere Pro. The first section will be on making a thumbnail for your video. This step is important mostly just because it has useful information for the audience of your video on it. We'll be creating this slide in Canva. It's going to be used as a short introduction before your highlights as well as the thumbnail of your video. This slide will also contain personal information that may be useful to the audience of your videos. It will have your name, jersey number, location, and/or the time frame of when the clips were taken, position on the field, graduation year, GPA, and email. So here you can just see me going into Canva, and we're going to click on a template. I just picked a random one because it doesn't really matter. I just deleted everything off of it, and then I added my own photo and just cropped it to size. And then I put HarRis, my number, and made it bold so you could see it better. And adjusting it to the size and just making sure you could see it. And then there is the location and the time frame in which they were made, so 2022. And then my class. I just put a random class because it's just an example. And then I put the position I play. And then I put my GPA. It's important that you put that there because it's kind of general, yeah. And then email. And then you can click share, download, and save it as a PNG to your computer. Section 2 is about inputting your clips into Premiere Pro. This section talks about inputting clips into Adobe Premiere Pro and the process of doing so, as it can be quite confusing at times, and it takes some playing around with to get used to it. It also introduces how to use the razor tool and why it can be useful in video editing. When picking clips, make sure you are using the best highlights that showcase your skills the best in multiple areas: passing, through balls, chips, shooting, footwork, etc. Make sure as well to use clips from multiple games. It isn't useful to see clips from a single good game. You want people to know that you're consistent and make good plays every game. Make sure to leave in how the play developed as well. This can showcase how you move off the ball and position to receive a ball from a teammate, as well as gives the play some context of how it built up. Okay, so here I'm just putting my thumbnail photo, and 3 clips, example clips, into Premiere Pro, and then I'm using the track select tool, which is also another tool that I really find useful. It moves everything forward or backward depending on what you want to do. And then I just put the thumbnail in the front and got rid of the audio. Section 3 is putting transitions. This is short and simple. They add smooth ways to move from clip to clip and give a more professional look to your video. It also introduces the video effects bar and video transitions tab. To use transitions, all we must do is click on the transition toolbar and use whatever kind of transition we like the best. In some cases, a warning label will come up, which I will explain shortly. So here I'm adding transitions. You click on video transitions and then click on dissolve, and I pick cross dissolve. And when you put transitions, sometimes this bar will come up, which just means frames will be repeated, but you don't have to worry about it because it's not too bad. Section 4 is about adding arrows. It explains why they're important to your video. It introduces keyframes as well as the motion and position toolbars. This is arguably the hardest part, but you'll find it isn't too bad after seeing an example visually. Arrows are used to identify yourself in your clips. It's hard for your audience to recognize you based on jersey numbers alone, especially if your video isn't super clear. First, you should find a transparent PNG of an arrow to use and transfer it to Premiere Pro. Once we are there, we will use the motion and position toolbar to add keyframes to the clips to keep the arrow on you even if you or the camera moves. Okay, so here we're dragging the PNG into Premiere Pro and then dragging it from there to our clip. And then from here, it's basically trying to position it where you want it. So usually you would want to put it before you have the ball. And so that might take a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of going back and forth to figure out where you want to put it exactly. So here I am doing that, and then you press on motion to move it and make the size smaller so it's not taking up the whole screen like that. And then press keyframe, so that'll lock it where it is. And then all you have to do is just make sure you play a little bit, stop it, and move the arrow to where you are in that frame so it stays on top of you. And here's me just using the razor tool to clip it off what I don't want, and yeah, it should come out something like that. Section 5 is about adding music. Here we will discuss the risks of using copyrighted music, the type of music to use, and how to make a YouTube video into an MP3 file to use as audio. Adding music can be very simple after figuring out how to do it. We can use a website to change YouTube videos into MP3 files. Music adds flair to the video, otherwise you would just have silence and that doesn't add anything to the video. When adding music, the most effective way to go about it is either using royalty-free music or popular music, but the risk with this is that you will be flagged for copyright. But if you aren't intending on making any money off your highlight video, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. The type of music you use is important too. I will explain that shortly. So here I'm using the song Shivers by Ed Sheeran, and I'm using this song because it's pretty hype and I think it makes the video feel some type of way. And then you press share after that and copy the link, and then Google YouTube to MP3 and you should find a website. Anyone works, most of these are all the same. So you press convert, and then after it's done, download, and then drag it to your desktop. And then from there you can put it into your video. And then I adjusted my thumbnail a little bit so it fits the song because it has a long intro. And then after that, you should be able to use the eraser tool to cut off the end so that the music stops right at the end of your clips and it's not playing with a black screen. And then, yeah, you're done. To recap everything we just discussed, we went over a short introduction into Premiere Pro and video editing, some basic tools for video editing that you will find useful, as well as extra additions to make your highlights stand out and make it look better and more professional.